Damn.
I was recently running this and the spur gear stripped, so I think it's time for all metal spur gear. Now, what I've decided to go with is an Integy all metal spur gear. However, I've read online that some people are having trouble installing the spur gear on the Savage 4.6. To make it work, you need a Savage X slipper clutch. The stock slipper clutch with this truck, the 4.6, won't work. You have to change the slipper clutch. So enough talk, let's go in for a zoom. I'll give you the part numbers and we'll go ahead and swap out the spur gear on this truck. Alright, so I've chosen the Integy 47 tooth, part number T6903, and the HPI Savage X slipper clutch, part number 86802. As you can see, this is what's going to make it work. So let's go ahead and tear this apart. Alright, let's get cooking here. Alright, to begin, we have some clips in the back. One here and one right here. So we'll remove these two clips. And then on top of the roll bar, there's a screw right here that we'll need to remove. So let's start with that. So here are the two body clips. And then we need to remove this screw as it comes. And again, this is what it looks like. Just put it to the side, and then there goes your little roll cage. Now we have one little nut right here. We need to remove that. And again, I'm doing this with an electric drill just because it's quicker. But just be gentle if you're using an electric drill, because if you're not careful, you'll strip something. So that's that. And then right here you have two screws, one here, and then on the other side you have two screws as well, one here, another one right here. So you need to remove those four screws. So let's go ahead and do that. Alright, just put your screws together because you don't want to lose them. Let me turn it around. And then we have the air filter. Let's get this little pipe out of the way. And here you have the air filter. Just remove this. Here we go, put it to the side. And then, let me bring you in for a close-up. Alright, then you have three screws. One right here, one right here, and one right there. These three you need to remove. And then just remove the top cover, like so. I'll get this out of the way. And here we are. Here's your spur gear. As you can see, it's pretty chewed up right here. So now we need to remove this. Just go ahead and just grasp it tightly. And then you need to remove this locking nut. Put that to the side. Remove your old spur gear and make sure the slipper clutch, make sure it comes off with it. And this stays where it is, so keep that just so. Grab your new spur gear. And again, you'll need your little slipper discs. Alright, put the discs, these paper discs, on both sides of the Spur Gear. Alright, once you wrap that up, get the top of your transmission and you'll slip the Spur Gear right over. And this is when you'll need the Savage X. Again, part number 86802 HPI. You'll need this. Now, it does have this top spacer, I guess you can call it, right on top. And it does come off rather easily. One thing you could do is get some thread lock and put a little dab. You know, just a drop here and a drop on the other side. You know, both sides, maybe just a drop. That way, when you press it back together, it won't fall off. So go ahead now, take this, and you're going to place it on top of the Spur Gear. Okay, so this is what your end product should look like. And then what you're going to do is take the spring, slip it right over, and then of course the nut. And then you'll tighten this all the way down as far as it goes. And then you'll back it off 1/2 turn. Okay, so 1/2 turn. So, like so. And that's it. Now she's ready to go and reinstall in the vehicle. Go ahead and reinstall the top of the transmission. And go ahead and check your mesh. This is going to need an adjustment, and I'll show you how to do that in a second. But as you can see, the Spur Gear isn't meeting up that well with the pinion gear, so I'll need to adjust that. But in the meantime, just go ahead, put everything back together, and then we'll adjust the motor mount so that mesh is very nice. Now, what we need to do is adjust these motor mounts, and to do that, we need to remove this bottom skid plate. We have 4 motor mount screws. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So you need to loosen up each one, and then we'll adjust the motor, the pinion gear in the motor, to mesh nicely with the Spur Gear. You just want a nice, not too tight but not loose mesh. And then once you find that, tighten up the motor mounts. And once you have that nice mesh, again, it should roll very nicely, not tight but not loose. Go ahead and just put everything back together.